He graduated from Auburn University and began his career in sales at IBM. 5 years later, he took a leap of faith into the financial services industry, where he continues to lead a thriving financial planning and wealth management business.
I try to tell myself that I'm loved, that I'm free, that I am secure, and that I'm happy.
Now, what do you do when life throws a curve at you that forces you to abandon a direct path? Well, if you're like Link Forrester, you'll navigate through the twists and turns, finding joy and purpose along the way. He graduated from Auburn University and began his career in sales at IBM. 5 years later, he took a leap of faith into the financial services industry, where he continues to lead a thriving financial planning and wealth management business. Let's find out more. Hi, Link. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tony. Great to be here.
Pleasure is mine. You know, as a fellow author, I love the title of your new book and what it's all about, The Side Road. And I'm really curious. It's such a unique name. How did you come up with that idea for your book?
Well, the title came as I was writing the book. My son is the one that really wanted me to write a book. And he went so far as to line up meetings with me with ghostwriters and writing coaches and company like Script. And finally I said, Cole, maybe I should just see if I can write. So I started writing stories and decided to do some chapter titles and added a story to a chapter title. And before I knew it, I had a book. And the name The Side Road sort of came as the book was all coming together.
I see. Now, as mentioned in the intro, us entrepreneurs, well, we know what it's like when we hit a dead stop. And it sounds like you made it a challenging game to navigate through the twists and turns.
Yeah, the book sort of centers around three main life challenges. My wife and I, we were married young and pregnant, and that's always a tough start. And it talks about leaving a normal corporate job and starting my own business in an industry where most people fail. And then it talks about the fact that we lost a child. And, most marriages don't make it. Most people lose some purpose and joy in their lives when things like that happen. And so the book's just about things that we've either done or things we believe in that help us cope and live with purpose and joy, even in light of life struggles.
I understand you. Hear you on that. One thing is for sure, life here on earth, it's not perfect. It's challenging. There's always something going on. I've interviewed so many people. There's not one person that has had a perfect life. Everyone has had issues, and those that persevere, those that focus on their goal, their purpose, what they need to accomplish, they succeed. And I was noticing in your book here that you talk about getting that focus really on point. And as you just talked about here with, your life, and you've got to trust this inner compass that you talk about. And I want to say right away, from experience, it's easier said than done. How do you do it? How do you find that inner compass that directs you through these twists and turns, through these dead stops that we run into?
Well, one thing I do, Tony, is when I wake up in the mornings, I try to tell myself four things. I try to tell myself that I'm loved, that I'm free, that I am secure, and that I'm happy. And two of those things can never change. I'm always going to be loved. My wife still loves me, which is good. And I'm loved by God, and I can't lose that. And I have security in my faith and my relationship with Him. Happiness is you're not always happy. The happiness factor can go down sometimes, and you're not always free to do the things you want to do, either health or money, whatever it may be. Today, we are pretty free. We have our health is pretty good, and our financial situation is good, but things can always change. You never know.
As you said that, I was thinking, as I just mentioned, of all the people I've interviewed, very rare does anyone talk about their faith in God and that has helped them find happiness. And while this is not a show about religion, it's really piqued my interest that you would bring that up, that has helped you get on focus. And I think that that's absolutely amazing. Um, it sounds so simple and perhaps, but it kind of really is. I've learned that, when you focus on that, when you focus that way, it really helps open things up. And I don't know if that's particularly the point you want everyone to focus on when reading your book, but I did want to point that out regardless, that I think that's an amazing point right there. But for anyone reading the book, what would they look at? What do they hope to get? What should they look for in your book to help them on their life's journeys?
Well, the book it's a short book. Let me say that first of all. So the investment of time will not be too long. The publisher has on the back of the book that's an 82-minute read. So it's sort of like a long-term paper. But the book's got a lot of humor in it. It talks about our family. Our family's unique. All my children live near me. All 5 of my grandchildren now live within 1 mile of me. I mean, my family has separation issues, and it's just so it's a funny story. It's a funny book. A lot of good golf stories. A lot of fun, just travel stories, college football stuff. But it sort of centers around faith and family and fitness and finances and uh, all sort of the food groups there.
That's cool. And I'm a fellow traveler. I've traveled the world. I've gone everywhere that I've wanted to go before the madness of the past couple of years hit. And I love traveling the country and just seeing everything that God has created and that's there. And what caught my attention in going through your book is that you comment on your love for travel has helped you find your purpose, has helped you get that perspective in your life. And I thought that was really interesting. How did that how does that happen? What's the word here? How do we grow that kind of perspective by traveling?
Well, travel, I'm usually doing it with my wife, and we have a great relationship. And I think the secret of life is relationships. And if that can be in places that are pretty neat, whether it's in Cabo or Italy or wherever it may be, it's fun to be in cool places with people that you love, and gives you reasons to be thankful, reasons to have purpose, reasons to just be happy.
Molto bene. That's great that you like Italy. It's a good place. Can you can you share anything with us? Any particular story that comes to mind, where this kind of gets all put together?
Oh, there's tons of life stories in the book. A lot of funny stories that I think everybody will kind of enjoy. The first, I'll just tell you, the first story in the book is we had an aging black lab, and I came home from work, and she was unable to move her back legs, and my wife came out already crying and said, "Look, I've talked to the vet. She can't do anything." And so we took her to the University of Georgia veterinary hospital, and I had all the kids with me. I figured this could be, a tough visit. And we got her there, and they said, after about, 15, 20 minutes of checking her out, they came out and said, we're pretty sure she has cancer, but for $5,000, we'll, open her up, and, we give her about a 50% chance of making it off the operating table. And then she said, or we can put her down for you. And so we gathered all the kids together, and we sent Jordan, our dog, off to dog heaven. And so my wife and I were driving home from Athens with the family, and we get about halfway home, and my wife looks at me and she says, "Honey, when we get home, I want you off my medical power of attorney." She said, "My mom will spend $5,000 to see if I'm okay." So that's a true story without any link exaggerations. But my wife will tell you this book is kind of full of some link truths, but that is an absolute truth. What I just told you, that needed no exaggeration.
Oh, I have a personal connection with that. I've been with my wife 30 years now, and in that we've had two dogs. The first one we've had to put down. He was 17, and the second one left. What's the word people use, naturally, and they're tough experiences. So I get it on but the decision you made, I'm sure, was a good decision. Just I find a little humor in it, but I also have this emotional connection with animals and what goes on with them. So I really appreciate you sharing. And there's a lot of topics in your book. There's things that you want people to focus on or that they should focus on. I know you talk about gratitude, resilience, mindfulness. And before we get, and I want to just make sure before I forget, not that I usually forget anything, where should we go for more information? Where can we find your book?
You can buy the book anywhere books are sold. So you can just look for The Side Road by Link Forrester. You can always go to my website, linkforresterauthor.com, and you can learn about the book there and about us there. And we're on most social media platforms.
All right, I'll put that in the show notes, linkforresterauthor.com, so that people can read a little bit more about you and get the book from wherever they like to get their books from. Link's very, very interesting. I know we just spent a couple minutes, just kind of touched it. It's a fast read, as you say, and very interesting on the stories. I just want to thank you so much for coming on and telling us about it, and I hope you do very well with it.
Thank you, Tony. Great to be with you.